look and you go, no, coyotes aren't about, 3.5, 4 foot tall. Their eyes don't look like that. They're not as big as that. Anyway, I was just petrified, and I yelled and I said, get in the car. And it was hard to get my words out. I just wanted to get away. I just wanted to run. Stargazing in so long together. She said, why don't we go out tonight? And I looked at the computer clock and I said, well, it's after midnight, so 5 after midnight. I said, it's kind of late. She said, oh, come on. She said, it's my last night here. So to make the long story short, we decided to leave and started driving out towards Glenmore area. At that time of night, and all of a sudden, just before she left, I thought that was kind of odd, but, for us, stargazing is a big part of our lives. Like, we love stargazing, so I just thought not too much of it at that time, really. Traffic on the road, and I said to her, I said, I don't know if we're going to get much stargazing done, and I said, there's a lot of traffic and stuff on the road tonight. And she said, well, we'll just keep driving, we'll just see, something will come up. We kept on driving, and then at one point I said, well, what about here? And I guess it was about just a little bit before our landfill area, supposedly, so I heard afterwards. I had no idea. But anyway, I stopped on the side of the road, and suddenly there was absolutely no traffic. And I mean, it had been really busy. And there was no moon that night. There's no lights out there. So it was very, very black. It was just dark. And I took out a 1.5 million candlelight that I have, and I plugged it into the lighter thing in the car. But anyway, she had the binoculars and I had the lights. I went out one side of the car and she went out the other. And she started looking up in the sky with the binoculars. And as soon as we were out maybe a minute out of the car, she said to me, she said, there's 3 funny looking lights up there. She said, they look like stars, but she said they're like shaped in a triangle and they're moving together. And I said, well, stars don't do that. She says, no, she says, actually, she says, that's weird. She says, it looks like it's changing shape. They're moving, differently now. And jokingly, she just said to me, she says, all we need to see now is a pair of eyeballs. And I said, well, that's a funny thing to say. And I pulled down the light and I flashed it onto the side of the road and the road just in front of our car to make sure that we were still okay. And then there was 5 sets of eyeballs staring at us. My first thought was, your first human thought is, it must be like a coyote or some animal or something. And then, reality checks in and you look and you go, no, coyotes aren't about, 3.5, 4 foot tall. Their eyes don't look like that. They're not as big as that. Anyway, I was just petrified, and I yelled and I said, "Get in the car!" And it was hard to get my words out. I just wanted to get away. I just wanted to run.